If you're an asylee and you want to travel outside the United States, then the information in this video is going to be very important for you before you do, okay? I'm attorney Lee Marvin, and I've been specializing in immigration law for over a decade. I'm in my home office of Grand Rapids, Michigan, but we help individuals and families in every state in the country and really any country on the planet. So I will ask you to stick around for a little while because I want to give you what I say is the 3 most important travel-related questions that an asylee could ask, okay? If you are an asylee or know somebody who's an asylee, they really need to know this information, okay? So this video was prompted by a client, an existing client, who several years ago, I helped him with his asylum, okay? He was fighting deportation, and one of the ways to do it was through asylum. So I won his asylum claim for him and his deportation. He later became a legal permanent resident, and he had basically been threatened, like everyone is with asylum. He was threatened by these politically motivated losers, thugs we'll call them, in Guatemala. He was abducted and he actually escaped. It was an incredible story, but he escaped from being abducted by these people, and that is how he got his asylum, okay? So we're talking Guatemala. You may be aware of a lot of different issues in Guatemala, okay? It's not much better now than it was when he won his asylum, okay? Which is why this is an important topic, okay? Because recently he asked, he asked me questions about his case, about moving forward in the future, which is why I came up with the 3 most important travel-related questions for asylees, okay? So if this is your first time watching my channel, I would like to ask you to make sure that you subscribe and click the notification bell so you get notified of future videos for a lot of topics related to immigration. Very important topics. But if you don't subscribe, you won't know that they come out. You won't know if they're going to save your life or your family members' lives. So subscribe, please, okay? So what are the 3 questions that are important for asylees to know, okay? So first question, number 1, can I travel back to visit my family after my asylum case is approved? Big question, very common question. Is essential, critical that an asylee not return to their home country until they become a U.S. citizen and they can travel to that country with their U.S. passport. Why? Because if an asylee returns home to their country, Department of Homeland Security can refuse their re-entry into the country, whether they're a legal resident or an asylee traveling with a travel permit. They can refuse their re-entry into the country because clearly they no longer fear persecution in their home country, okay? Question 2, will the government deny my citizenship request because I have visited my birth country after I became an asylum recipient? Possibly, probably. If they know about it, probably. Because, like the last question, if DHS believes that you no longer fear your country, then they can absolutely reopen your case and make a determination that you no longer need the protection of the United States government because you no longer fear your country or the things that are going on in your country, okay? So if they do that, not only can they deny your request for citizenship, but they can actually move to open deportation proceedings against you because you no longer need protection by the United States, okay? 3, can my asylum be revoked? Can they go back? Can they take my asylum away from me? Yup, darn right. So, and here's the language that the government uses. If the asylee has voluntarily availed themselves of the protection of the country of nationality or last habitual residence by returning to such country with permanent residency status, or the reasonable possibility of obtaining such status with the same rights and obligations pertaining to other permanent residents of that country, or after the asylee believes or behaves as a citizen of that birth country, okay? So basically, if you go back to your country and they can see that you no longer fear, then they will reopen your case and they'll rip that away from you, okay? So again, it's not just getting permanent residency in that country, it's acting as though you're a citizen of that country. How do you do that? Well, I don't know, traveling to your country with your old passport, you renew your old passport, you go to your embassy here in the United States and say, hey, I need my passport. Well, what are you saying? You're saying, I trust you, government. In the United States, I don't need you anymore because I have my birth country. Bad, 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 bad. So don't do that, okay? So as always, immigration is incredibly complex. You can make a misstep really darn easy, and it will destroy your future here in the United States. So don't do it, or at least talk to an attorney before you do, okay? Always talk to an immigration attorney before you make any of these big decisions. Like my client who reached out to me and asked me these questions. So don't do it, okay? Ask the questions before you take the steps, okay? Because you might not be able to ever change it. So if you have questions like this, you can reach out to me and I'd be happy to counsel you on what you need to do in order to make sure you succeed. Give me a call, subscribe. I would love to help you succeed with your immigration processes.